Trade recap 26th of February. Today was like a big sell-off. I got stopped 3 times in a row, which means like my maximum loss limit has been hit. There have been like 2 great trades which just didn't work out, and I made a big mistake at the last one, but I will talk about it later on. What was my expectancy today for the upcoming day? Basically, after yesterday's sell buy rally, the ETH was like a constant selling, and we held this balance low where they found some more buyers and they reverted to the other side of the balance. So my expectancy was if they get above the 6975, entering the higher balances and higher as well, I want to get long. Otherwise, if they get lower, trading it short. So how did it shape up then today? We were at the 6970, we held pretty big resistance. It was still in the ETH and I'm not trading the first hour. That was why I just didn't got monetized on the short down there. What was happening? Yeah, they were constantly selling, way more sellers than buyers. I mean, buyers were stepping in to a certain degree, but they were just too weak to, yeah, to go against this constant selling. They sold. There wasn't like any kind of area where you could have tried to get short. Why? Because not even this one here, as you guys can see, not even this one was like high enough, somewhere around this highs where you can try it for another short down there, for a short continuation. And basically they were just constantly selling all the way down. From this lows down here, first of all, it was at the 6880 area, which is it isn't like a bad volume profile spot. 6880, as you guys can see, it was like this volume drop off here, this ledge, and the expectancy was that they try to hold out, that they definitely want to try to hold out. Yeah. From down there, they finally started to make some higher high structure, made a new higher high down from this low, but then sales continued, broke those lows, and then structure was more and more going slower. But the DOM and the whole market just told me that there might be like, this might be like the, because they grabbed some liquidity down there as well, and that this might be like the low of the day. That was why I entered here. Maybe I entered a little bit too early because I marketed in. I expected them to shoot through and get higher. Yeah, was a little bit too early with this one. Could have definitely waited a little bit more, but it wasn't like bad. I understood what the whole direction of the market was, the next one. And since then, they just made a constantly higher high, forming some uninteresting structure for me, as I'm not trading like some continuations like that. It's not like any pullback for me. Yeah, then they come into an interesting area, 6917. From there on, they sold, came back into this low once more. During that time, I was having lunch. That was why I wasn't able to trade it. But it would have been like a great long continuation back to the other side of the balance. And then, as we got back up there into the balance high, here, as you guys saw, there was my entry. There were more buyers coming in, and I thought, I mean, if you want to trade an absorption, there, in best case scenario, is that you see some aggressive buying as well as aggressive selling. And if you want to short from up here, it's better if you also see some aggressive sellers. Right now, at the entry of this trade, there haven't been like any aggressive selling, but it just felt like buyers constantly punching against the wall and not getting through. So that was the reason why I entered short here. I would say it was like a good area, had like a 5 point of stop, which was up here. And yeah, we got a pretty good move at first, 6.5 point almost. But then all of a sudden those lows held pretty well. As you guys saw, where those prior sellers got absorbed and those big buyers stepped in. Shot higher, and then I got stopped. And the second one, after they got a little bit higher, sorry, After they got a little bit higher, they just constantly sold off very quickly. And the first time ever in my trading since the beginning of applying these rules and being strict with them, with my rules, I made a big mistake. First of all, I tried to catch the short and just didn't wait for my entry. And second of all, I moved my stop loss above this high. That was why I had like a pretty big stop loss, and that's why I haven't like made a 3R loss today, but a 3.5R, because this last trade was a 1.5R. Was a big learning for me today, because I just learned that you have to wait for your entry, and if you just don't get your entry, it's better than getting fucked like that, like me today. Because if I would have been a little bit more desperately waiting, I could have definitely got my 1 to 2R win. I mean, I didn't expect them to hold here again and get higher, but at least getting a better win in. Yeah, that was my trading day. Very important to consider that losses are totally normal as long as you just don't tilt. We are professionals here, even though I made a mistake, but at least I learned out from it, and I printed out those exact same area, put it below sticked it under my monitor to now always have an eye on this. And yeah, still a great trade. Let's hear us tomorrow. Still up on the week 1 to 2 hour, so that's totally okay for me.